But we were driving here, and when I got into the van this morning, I noticed that there was a Katydid that was on the hood of my car. You guys know what a Katydid is? They're kind of green and they look like leaves, but they're actually big bugs. And there was a big one. You know, I've seen some smaller ones, but there was a very big one. He was just on the hood of the car. So I took a picture of him. I got my camera up as close as I was comfortable with doing, because they are quite creepy and big. I took a picture of it, and then we got in the car and drove to church. And we go through some winding roads, we make some turns, and then of course to get here we have to drive down 159th Street. And so the wind picks up a little bit. If you've ridden a motorcycle or a scooter or anything down 159th Street, you know that the wind starts to pick up a little bit. But I'm going to tell you something, that Katydid, he did not fall off of the van. I don't think he's on there now, but I took a picture when we got to church and he was still there. And it makes me think of, you know, he's really holding on. I saw his wings were moving around, but those, whatever his feet are made out of, man, they didn't move. You know, I thought about my own self, and I've mentioned this before in church, that I love adventure, and I love that idea of, you know, like running on top of a train like Denzel Washington and leaping from car to car, or if you guys remember the movie from the 80s, Teen Wolf, where Michael J. Fox was doing flips on top of his van. That's exciting to me. But you know what? When you take that and you look at it as an illustration, perhaps, of the Christian life, that's really not how we're supposed to live. We are called to support one another and to help each other to be accountable and to grow and to keep each other safe now and then also. And in the Christian context, programs are what help us to do that. Programs help us in the middle of the week, between Sunday service to Sunday service. They help us to check in and to make sure that none of us are doing life sticking to the top of the van or jumping from car to car on the train. So with that in mind, we look to do things for our community and for our church community. And I'd like to invite, briefly up here before we get started with the message, Diane Romanek to talk about a new area of ministry that the church is looking at for the fall.
This is where I get panicky when I have to hold one of these. I can speak without it, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. This year, starting next week, we are going to be starting a homeschool group. It's called Homeschool at the Rock, and it's under the ministry of Eagle Rock Church. And we have 15 families enrolled, and we'll be cooperating with other parents, or we'll be teaching Spanish, art, math, no, not math this year, but science and language arts, and other things. So if you know of anyone that homeschools and they're ever asking, hey, do you know of a group or anything? Well, our church now has one, and it'll be fully under the ministry of our church. They can come and see me, and I'd be happy to speak with them, or the Kanabis, and we can answer any questions. The other thing that I'm really excited about, I really, truly have always felt that the church is, or should be, a second home to people, a refuge, a place to come, to fellowship with other believers, to get built up, to pray for one another, and to learn from each other. And I think it's very important that we mentor each other, that we mentor our children, that we mentor young adults, and not just leave them out there. And so many of us have skills and gifts that God has given us that we can share. So something that I'm real excited about is on Thursday afternoons, after the school time, starting around 4:30, we'd like to offer a few programs or a few classes where some of the adults or young adults are coming alongside and mentoring and teaching new skills. We have a ukulele class, and we have students enrolled in that. We have a sewing class that's going to be offered with a sewing machine. It's a beginning sewing class. Jim's going to do Pinewood Derby, teaching the kids about making the little cars and stuff and racing them. A craft class. We're open to other ideas. So I know many of you here are very gifted and talented, and if you would love to come along and share some of your gifts and talents, we are still looking for an acoustic guitar teacher. But it would be on Thursdays. It's a 10-week commitment in the fall, and then I think a 16-week commitment in the winter, spring. You can see me after the service, and I would love to answer any questions, or if you would like to sign up for anything. But I think it's really important. This is an outreach to 2 people in our community. So please feel free to also, you know, if you happen to be at work or at school and someone says, gosh, I'd really like to learn how to sew, okay, well, give us a call and we can kind of come alongside you and plug you in. Okay, so if you have any questions, see me after the service.
Thank you, Diane. And praise the Lord.